the hell is Kyrgyzstan?
So Kyrgyzstan is in Central Asia. You get the map. It's exactly in the center of the west and east. I would be a bit informative and a bit funny.
Okay, so what are the countries next to Kyrgyzstan? Because I am not the best in geography.
So it's Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Russia.
Okay. So what language do they speak?
They speak Kyrgyz, which is their native language, and Russian. And they are not really good in English. I mean, there were young people who could communicate, but older people could not communicate at all.
Okay.
So it was a bit difficult. I was using Google Translate, Google Lens, because you could see all these labels, the menus. They wouldn't have English.
Okay.
They wouldn't have English, so I was using Google Lens to translate the menus, and it was hard. I mean, I remember there was a time I was at the restaurant. I was trying to translate. Google Lens was not working very well because it's not not trained on Kyrgyz language.
Wow.
And I had five guys around me, waiters, trying to explain what is each thing, and they couldn't explain it in English.
And they were
young. And the chef came along, and there were like 6 people trying to figure out what I want to order. And in the end I got some like dumplings. They have their own name, and it was dumplings with beef, which I don't like beef, so it took around 30 minutes to get something I don't really like.
That sucks. But so this actually shows that not a lot of people go to Kyrgyzstan. Not a lot of foreigners, since they're not prepared to write anything else in other languages.
And it's a bit underrated. I think it's quite a shame because it's a very beautiful country. I mean, I've seen some how I got the idea of Kyrgyzstan. I've seen some Instagram videos or maybe YouTube videos from travelers, and I've seen the landscape, which is really cool. It's like Asian Switzerland, let's say. It has so many nice mountains, hiking trails, and I think it's very underrated. I mean, it deserves more tourists.
So basically, it's good for nature stuff. So if you're into that, because if you're a city person, maybe it's not the best.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
What's the capital of Kyrgyzstan?
It's called Bishkek.
Bishkek.
Yes, and it's
Have you been there?
It's nice, but I mean, it's not the first thing that tourists go to. I mean, I wouldn't, if you have like a week in Kyrgyzstan, I would say that 1-2 days are enough for the city. It's interesting, but it's not the main thing to do in Kyrgyzstan.
Okay, so you've been there?
Yes, I was there for in total 2 weeks in Kyrgyzstan. I think I spent like 4 or 5 days at Bishkek.
Would you say it's a modern capital city? Or does it look
and a bit
behind?
I mean, it was Kyrgyzstan was a part of the Soviet Union, so I could see maybe some Soviet Union influences, and modern as well. But it's not like a huge city like London or something with not too many skyscrapers.
How about Nicosia?
Maybe similar.
Similar to Nicosia?
Maybe more similar than London. It's not a mega city.
In development.
A bit more underdeveloped, I think, compared to Nicosia.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's I mean, the GDP per capita is low. They get like a lot of remittances from Kyrgyz people that went to Russia to work or abroad, and they receive a lot of financial help from them. They don't have heavy industry, or I think they have some natural resources, but it's a country that needs financial help.
Basically, you landed there, and then you made a plan, or you just went?
I had a rough schedule in my head and notes, so I knew that I was going to spend like 2-3 days in Bishkek, or maybe 3 or 4. I don't remember. It was like 3 or 4, and then I went to the rural area for the mountains and the hiking.
Okay, so basically, your main point was to go to the nature and stuff and do that stuff.
Yes.
But you wanted to give the capital a chance.
Yeah, I went to the museum for the history of Kyrgyzstan, some attractions at the center, but the highlight was definitely the trips I did with the tour. Actually, I tried to find online some tourist agencies, but it was a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
So I found some local tourist agencies. I asked people, and
they gave me capital.
Yeah, when I was at the museum, I met some girls from there.
So that's helpful. It's better to find it
locals,
there.
yeah.
Okay.
Because some of them are really good, but they don't have a website. So the local girls gave me the Instagram name of the agencies, and I booked two multi-day tours with a local agent, which was way cheaper than the ones I would find online.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
that's a good tip. You should be careful if you go there.
Yeah.
Go on Instagram.
It's good that they have an Instagram because the way
Yeah.
you describe it, I would think that they wouldn't. But
Yeah, the one was run from like young people, Instagram, TikTok advertisements.
cool.
And it was really professional. It was really good. And I did with them a 2 days tour at Songkul Lake and 3 days tour at the Alakul Lake. These are the two highlights of my tours.
Okay, before we get there, I want to know about the capital.
Okay, sure.
What did you like or not like from the capital? The cuisine.
Okay. For me, one of the most interesting things, especially when I go to an area which is a bit particular, a bit unknown to me, I want to learn the history. So for me, it's like a bit of an Asian country, at the same time Muslim country in the religion, and influenced by Soviet Union. So it's a very.
So how do people look like? 'Cause it
I
seems
would
like a
say
mix.
like Asian, Mongolian maybe,
Okay.
but it's a very interesting multicultural mix.
Yeah.
So I guess going to the museum was a really good way to learn the history of the country. So I spent a couple of hours there.
And then
And I
where'd
went
you
to the
go?
main square as well. I've tried some local food. Their traditional dish, it's deer.
Deer.
Yeah, I had deer for the first time. Oh dear.
How was
Actually, I
it?
didn't like it. I didn't like it that much.
Okay.
But it was like small pieces, boiled pieces. Maybe it was the way I mean, if I had the deer steak, is popular.
Yeah.
I guess it's more tasty than the one I got.
I heard that deer is very like rubber, like dry and rubbery,
It was dry, yeah.
and like not a lot of. It's like hard.
It was, yeah, the one I
Yeah.
had. And they say that, I mean, the guide said that it's one of the best meat in terms of health and
Oh.
nutrition.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't searched it up, but I believe them. So it's expensive. It's more expensive than beef, for example. And they eat a lot of beef as well.
But do they eat more deer than beef?
I think no, because it's more expensive and not very accessible. I guess it's not very often.
Okay. And then how would you describe their cuisine? Is it very soupy? Like, is it very like
They have some soups, some pasta, and a lot of meat. I mean, they explained to me that they were nomads in the past. They were moving around with their ships, so they would need some energy. Food was not very accessible. I mean, they wouldn't. Agriculture, I guess, was not very developed because they were not in one place for a long time. So they had to eat something. They would eat their the sheep's beef. Sheep is beef, right? Is it?
sheep is it's like lamb, right? It's
It
not
could be.
beef. Beef is cow.
Ah, okay. So they would eat the cows they had.
Mm.
Yeah, they would eat the animals so to get energy and
Yeah.
stuff. So
They
these
would eat their animals. Poor thing. Their little pet. Hey Bruno, let me eat you. Oh,
they used
wow.
it both for food and for other activities, I guess.
Oh,
And then back in the days when there was no concentrated life in the cities. So these are things that shape their culture, their dishes.
wow. But when you were in the capital, how did you find your accommodation? You arrived and
I
you
used
already
Agoda,
had.
which is similar to Booking, is the Asian equivalent of Booking.
Okay.
So I'm booked like 4 or 5 days before I get there. Then I was booking like 3 days before going to another place. It was very convenient.
And how was the place you stayed at? Was it
Decent, and a good price. I mean, it
was it a hostel or hotel?
no, it was. I was booking like I booked the Hotel Uzbekistan, which is a popular one, built in 1974 in Bishkek. No, that was in Tashkent, Uzbekistan.
Yeah.
But they were similar prices. I mean, I booked good hotels for good prices.
So what else did you do in the capital?
So I did a few things more that I forgot to mention. I remember I went to the Osh Bazaar. It's a very interesting. I mean, when I searched things to do in Bishkek, Osh Bazaar was one of the top things to do. It was a local market.
Yeah.
I think it was open. Yeah, it was also indoors and outdoors market with things like spices, herbs, really delicious bread. They are popular for their bread.
Yeah.
It's like a round, fluffy bread, very delicious.
So you ate it?
Yeah.
What did you eat it on its own, or do you have other things to eat it?
Both.
What else do you eat?
So let me tell you the way they do it. They have like big ovens, and they put it on the like in the ground. They put it at the sides of the oven. Like people getting. I've seen some videos. People
In
get
the oven?
in the oven. They put it like that,
Wow.
and they have special things to get them off. So
Okay.
it's a very interesting procedure. I haven't been to the ovens, but I've seen them on Instagram, YouTube. So it's I mean, they are popular for that bread. They did it since a long time ago. And I went to the bazaar actually for that mainly.
For the bread.
For bread. Yeah, that was my top thing to do in
Alright.
Osh Bazaar.
Then anything else that you would add for anyone to see the capital, apart from the museum and the bazaar?
I've also been to the special place. They got a flame for as a memorial. It's called memorial, right? Memorial for Second World War soldiers from Kyrgyzstan who went to the war. Yeah, that's an attraction. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. Yeah.
So then you're off to the nature.
Yes.
So begin with where did they come pick you up?
So there was a bus with like 10 of us, tourists. Some people were local tourists. And we went with a minibus from a square at the city center, if I remember well. And it took us like 2 hours to go to Songkul Lake. That was the first trip I did.
What did you do in the lake?
Good question.
Did you swim in it?
Some people did, but I didn't really. I mean,
Scary.
we had free time, so I preferred to go for horse riding. I had the option of either swimming or horse riding.
Okay.
Horseback
Couldn't do
riding.
both?
Yeah, I guess I could do both, but because it was the first time I was doing horse riding, I wanted to take full advantage of it and did as much as I could. It was very first time horse riding.
How many teachers were there with you?
They were not exactly teachers. They were like some local people living there near the lake with their yurts, and they were accepting tourists for a few days. So they would cook the food for us. They would show us how to ride the horses.
So they own the horses?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
How many horses do they have?
I mean, I've stayed with, we were like 10 of us, and we stayed in a camp with maybe 7 youths, and it was owned by one family of
Wow.
consisted of maybe 5 people. Yeah.
And
The parents and the kids, and they were all helping. The young guy was trying to teach us the basics of horse riding. He was taking care of the horses.
was
So it's
it
a full-time job.
did you feel safe? Because when I tried horse riding, I was really scared. I was a chicken.
Yeah, well, for me it was okay, but I don't know, it's because I'm used to doing some sports, maybe, I'm not sure.
I'm also used to doing sports.
Extreme sports.
But me too. But honestly, I was thinking this horse might go crazy and run off into wherever.
They could, but these ones were the calm ones. I mean, they picked them up for tourists, I guess. They were not super fast, they were calm, so I guess they choose them to
Would
be.
they ever run? Did they ever start?
They did.
running?
If you do this with your leg, they run, but not very fast. So I think it was easy for. I mean, I've had zero experience, and I learned quite quickly. I mean, there's not too many things to learn, so it was okay. I think it's okay for everyone,
Wow.
and I didn't feel scared. I don't know. I trusted the horse
Okay.
and the locals because it's one of the things they are doing every day. It's no, it's like
And-
us cycling maybe.
Where did you? I mean, okay. How long were you on the horse
It
traveling?
was paid for 1 hour, around €5 for 1 hour.
Wow, that's really good.
So let me describe the place. So it was late at around 3,000 meters. So I could feel my breath a bit more.
Was it cold?
Yeah, it was cold, and we were surrounded by. So it was the lake, a big lake.
That's why you didn't swim. It was cold.
It was cold. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like cold water.
Yeah.
So it was the lake, a big valley,
Yeah.
flat, very good for running the horse, and then the mountains.
So, did
So
you
it was
go
a
to the
very
mountains?
beautiful. I've tried to. It seemed close, but it was not that close. So I tried to go with the horse, but we reached one point and we got back. We didn't get the
Wait, so
hills.
you were allowed to get away from the group
Yes.
and do your own thing? They
Yeah.
trusted you?
But
That's very trusting.
it's like a flat space. I mean, you
Okay.
cannot go anywhere. There is no road nearby. You went there by like a minivan.
Well, now
And there were free animals all over the place. Some of them were free, some of them were tied up.
Okay. I would be afraid to go near animals in case I provoke them and they start like.
It was.
And I'm like,
I guess it's a bit dangerous. I went to the cow. You've seen the picture, and I went close. And it actually turned. It had like it was a male cow, I guess. So it had these horns.
yeah, a bull.
Is it a bull? Oh my god.
A bull is the one with the horns.
Oh my god. And it was a bit intimidating. So I was trying to go close to get a selfie or
Oh
something.
my god.
And it was like eating grass, and it suddenly got up, turned towards me, moved its legs. And I was afraid that it was going to run, so I ran away. And thankfully it didn't run. It was a scary moment.
I think by running you're provoking it. Hey, run after
Really?
me. Yeah,
I was just a random guy going for the first time near
wow.
I didn't know anything. I just felt that I should run for my life. That's what I did.
Well, so how many days were you there?
It was a 2 days tour in Songkul Lake.
Songkul?
Songkul.
Songkul Lake.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
interesting. And they weren't enough. I mean, 2 days. We had no Wi-Fi. I had a book with me.
That's nice.
It was nice. It was for 2 days. It was nice, but if it was for like a week, I think it would be a bit boring. We also played some football, volleyball with the guys. It was good 2 days in the nature.
Okay, and then
I recommend it. Then I went back to Bishkek for a night, and I booked a tour for the next day for Alaku Lake, another lake, and that was a 3 days tour. Yeah,
at the Alakul Lake, how far is that from the capital?
I think it was around 2 or 3 hours by car.
So
And
it's
we actually
further.
exchanged cars. We got a minivan at first, and then a truck
A truck.
that they got from I think it was from World War II, a Russian truck, a military truck.
Wow.
Because we went to, so let me maybe start from the beginning. Alakul is a lake at 4,000 meters. So in order to get there, we got to a base camp in Altun Arashan. It was a nice valley, but I had to get there by. Some people go on foot, but we got a mini truck to get through the bumpy road and rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
So we got there by minivan and truck. And we stayed in Altun Arashan in yurts in order to get the next day in the 4,000 meters lake. So
You walked?
So we had this tour on the second day, and we used horses. We took horses for around 3 hours. We got a
What?
very scenic.
3 hours?
Yeah, it's a bit tough for the horses, not for me, but
Not for you.
I was relaxed on the horse. And then, I mean, compared to the horses, they had some very steep.
When I went for my horse class, you have to have your legs in a specific angle, and you have to hold your legs to hug the horse. They say
True.
that's for me. It's very tiring.
It
And
is
you did
actually.
that for 3 hours.
I had some knee pain at the end, but I mean, I compare to the effort made by the horse. I mean, it was a difficult route. I couldn't imagine doing it on my. I mean, I could
So
do
you
it,
went on mountains?
Yes.
Were you afraid you were gonna slip on a rock and bye-bye?
That's a possibility, but I was not really scared for that because I trusted the horse. They know the route. They do it every day. They were strong horses, so I trusted the horse, I guess. But you should be careful if you do it. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be a bit dangerous. Yeah.
How many of you were there?
Like 15 maybe people.
Okay. And this time there were more tourists than locals? Local tourists?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. And then, so how many? You did 3 hours with the horse and then?
So we got from Altura Arshan, I think it was around 2,000 meters altitude. We got 3 hours route. It was a scenic route, very beautiful. We got through rivers, through steep hills. We've seen some other animals.
Yeah.
We've seen some even rainbows after the rain.
So
was-
wait,
it was-
you were also riding in the rain.
Yes, for some
Wow.
like few minutes. There are other people had raincoats. I didn't have any. I was not prepared. But it was not.
raining
It was
hard?
light. It
Oh,
was
okay.
light rain.
Okay. Because that's something like that. Unexpected things. It's scary because it makes the rocks more slippery. You never know.
Yeah.
And the horses can't.
Yes.
They don't wear specific boots. Like they'll slip.
They got their petals, but I don't know. Maybe that's not enough sometimes. But for me, it was okay. I mean, all of the horse was okay. It did fine.
So the 3 hours.
So we did the 3 hours. We got to 3,100 meters, and then we had to walk. It was very steep, so the horses couldn't do the last 900 meters. So we had to walk to the top in order to see the Alaku Lake. So it was like a mountain. Then you could get at the top and see the lake from above.
Oh, okay. So how
So
long
I had
did
to
you
walk this.
walk?
So it so it was,
How long did you walk?
it was 900 meters, but we took us around 1 hour or something.
Okay.
So it was difficult. I mean, it was the first time being at this kind of altitude. I've been to 3,200 before, but that like 3,500 was really different. I mean, I couldn't. It was hard to breathe. Could feel my heart
Wow.
racing.
Okay.
I mean, at 3,500, I was doing like 5 steps and then break because it was too tiring for me even walking.
Okay.
And yeah, I was not expecting that. I mean, I did some exercises back home. I did some running, cardio. I thought I was fit, but I was not that fit when I went there. I realized that I wasn't that fit.
And everyone else, did they have the same problems?
Most of them did some kind of hiking in the past. There were like some Europeans who hiked in Switzerland. And I asked them, guys, do you feel your heart racing? It is.
Am I the only one dying? Yes.
And they said yes. They said, oh no, they said yes, I'm feeling the heart racing, so that's normal.
Okay.
And you should take some breaks, you should have some sugars, water. They gave me some advice. I don't know if it was correct or something, but I was feeling that I was with other people like more experts than I was.
No, that's good.
So I was feeling the group.
Were
It
you
was a group
wearing,
activity.
did you have to wear the right shoes? Like
Yeah, I had to buy some shoes from there. It was recommended to buy some of them
Hiking.
with had some little, I don't know how to, it was not exactly spikes, but they could like, I was not sliding in the rocks, for example.
So they're hiking boots?
Yes.
And-
So we went at the top after like an hour and a half, and it was really spectacular view. It was very stunning, I would say. I don't know how to explain it. So it was a huge lake, like blue and green, maybe I would say. And I was very tired, and seeing this view was like, said it's totally worth it. So we got some nice picture, videos, stories.
And then how long were you up there?
We had the lunch there. We stayed for around an hour, and then we got down to get back before it gets dark.
Where did you find food up there?
We got food with us from the tourist agency. They gave us like small snack boxes.
Oh, they
we put-
prepared for you
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
So
They
it was
prepared everything.
included.
They
That's
were very
nice.
organized. Yeah,
What kind of food did they give you?
like
Beef?
pasta.
Boiled beef?
Yeah, it was pasta with beef, I think.
Okay. And then you guys all went down
Yeah.
together at the same time.
Yeah, it was a bit more. It was not very tiring going back, but it was a bit more dangerous, I think, because it was easy to slide. I mean, then you could throw some rocks to the people beneath you, so it was a bit dangerous as well.
Yeah.
So I got down, and then we got the horses. We went to Marjan. We stayed for one more night. We had some fun in the night. We got a fire, like a campfire. We did some dancing. I showed them some Greek dances, some salsa dances.
Oh my gosh. You were representing salsa dancing.
Salsa and Greek dancing, yeah. They told me I'm good, but
No.
I guess they have never seen Hasabi
bueno.
go on. Come on, I've been doing it for years.
I'll give you Hasabigo and stuff because I've never seen you dance it, so I have no opinion. But
I think
anyway.
I was good. That's what they told me. It was a very nice trip. It's totally recommended. You can go there. It takes some time. I got a direct flight from Cyprus, from UAE, but it's a really good trip if you like hiking, nature, horses. That's all. Let's go to it. I know you're hungry. Thank you for the interview. I hope
Thanks
you
for your
liked the story.
stories.